Hi, Rod here. Now, we're asked in our competencies to engage metaphor and simile as ways to create meaning and awareness with our clients. Yet, why? Well, two leading researchers, George Lakoff and Mark Johnson, tell us in their rather prescient book, Metaphors We Live By, that new metaphors are capable of creating new understandings and therefore new realities. It's pretty big stuff. So, in fact, in their later Philosophy in the Flesh, they propose that all of our inner process is conducted in metaphor, and so metaphors are in effect our embodied language. So what is a metaphor? Well, it's a figure of speech or in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action to which it's not literally applicable. So one common version, say, is that life is a journey. Well, it beautifully envisages how life feels for us. It isn't a literal truth, is it? Yet as coaches, use of metaphor and imagistic language in general offers us a really rich liminal playground in which we might recontextualize and reform the literal truths of our clients' lives and their challenges to create something new, some new meaning and understanding new realities. It can be reformed in the Play-Doh of this metaphor of imagistic language. Now, turning back to Lakoff and Johnson, they offer a really compelling example of this in Metaphors We Live By, when they say, and I'll just quote them, an Iranian student, shortly after his arrival in Berkeley, took a seminar on metaphor from one of them. Among the wondrous things that he found in Berkeley was an expression that he heard over and over again and understood as a beautifully sane metaphor. The expression was the solution of my problems, which he took to be a large volume of liquid bubbling and smoking and containing all of your problems, either dissolved or in the form of precipitates, with catalysts constantly dissolving some of the problems and precipitating out others. He was terribly disillusioned to find that the residents of Berkeley had no such chemical metaphor in mind. And well, he might be, for the chemical metaphor is both beautiful and insightful. It gives us a view of problems as things that never disappear utterly and that cannot be solved once and for all. All of your problems are always present, only they may be dissolved and in solution, or they may be in solid form. The best you can hope for is to find a catalyst that will make one problem dissolve without making another one precipitate out. So a beautiful story. And let's just review that. So in here, the chemical metaphor 1 gives a new view of human problems in that problems which we once thought were solved turn up again and again. And number 2, that problems are not things that can be made to disappear forever. So to treat them like that is pointless and a little infantile. Therefore, to live by the chemical metaphor means firstly that we accept it as a fact that no problem ever disappears forever, rather than direct your energies therefore towards solving your problems once and for all. You direct your energies to finding out what catalysts will dissolve your most pressing problems for the longest time without precipitating out the worst ones. The reappearance of a problem then is viewed as a natural occurrence rather than a failure on your part to find the right way to solve it. And the second part of living this way means it would importantly mean that your problems have a different kind of reality for you. A temporary solution would be an accomplishment rather than a failure. Problems would be part of the natural order of things rather than disorders to be cured. So it's a totally different perception, comes out of a metaphor. Life and the way you would act on it would then be very different if one were to live by this chemical metaphor. And Lakoff and Johnson propose this as a clear case of the power of metaphor to create a reality rather than simply give us a way of conceptualizing a pre-existing reality. I believe this is powerful for coaches, particularly considering how many metaphors we use in everyday speech. Research suggests around 6 per minute. As coaches, perhaps begin by listening for these. When it seems appropriate in sessions, you may wish to engage them to play. If life is a journey, what's the transport? How's the ride? Where do we get gas? Do we need gas? What type? You get the picture. And way more can be said in this area as a resource for tapping the deep inner human process for change, the implicit 95%, which drives our conscious decision making. So more to come, and I wish you well.